Hello students, this is Nilesh Kumar, your English teacher. Today we are going to learn past tense, as we have already learned present tense and kinds of present tense, So today we will start past tense, right? So let's start past tense. Past tense. Let's learn its definition. Its definition. The past tense refers to something or some actions that took place in the past time, right? Let me repeat. The definition of past tense tells you that the past tense refers to something or some actions that took place in the past time, right? Like the present tense, the past tense has also 4 kinds, right? Let's do that. The first one is past indefinite tense. The second one is, this one is also known as simple past tense, right? The second one is past continuous tense. And students, the second one has 2 more names, that is past progressive tense and past imperfect tense, right? The third one is past perfect tense, and the fourth one is past perfect continuous tense, right? So these are the 4 kinds of past tense that we have to study one by one. Now let's see its examples, right? The first one is, here I am writing the as I taught English, right? So taught is second form of the verb. Past continuous tense, it will become I was teaching English, right? Now the example of third one I am going to write here. I had taught English, right? And the example of fourth one here, I had been teaching English for an hour, right? So these are the 4 examples of each one. I have just done the first example before past and definite tense. I taught English, that is subject and second form of the verb. Past continuous tense, that is I was teaching English. In that tense, the action is continued, right? Past perfect, the example of past perfect I have done here, I had taught English. And the fourth one, past perfect continuous tense, that has time denoting words that I have done here. I had been teaching English for an hour. So an hour is the what? An hour is time denoting word, right? So now let's learn it one by one. The first one, past indefinite tense or the simple past tense, we have to learn first, right? So its formula is, the first one is affirmative, that is subject plus second form of the verb and object, right? The second one is that is negative, subject plus did not plus first form of the verb and then object. In negative and interrogative, second form changes as first form of the verb. The third one is interrogative and negative, right? Did you have to add first and then subject will take its place and then not will be under bracket and then after first form of the verb and then object, right? And at last question mark you have to put, right? The fourth one is what? That is WH family plus same interrogative formula you have to apply, right? Now one more formula you have to keep in your mind, that is what, if your sentence begins with no one, none, nobody, right? Then you have to go with the second form of the verb. Always just keep this formula in your mind, right? Like if I say nobody helped me, right? Nobody, none, no one helped me, right? Nobody came to me, no, but nobody came here to see me yesterday, right? So like this, you have to go in case of no one, none and nobody. Now let's see some of its important recognitions, with the help of that, we will be able to just recognize a simple past tense, right? I am just going to write some recognitions on the board as, it will help you a lot. That's why I am just going to write to make you understand only, right? The first one is A, and E. You will get the sense of R, A, E at the end of the sentence, right? And then the next one is ya and ye. Some of the sentence will end with the help of ya and ye, right? And then the next third one is, that is ta, tha, ti, thi, and te, the. So students, these are some important recognitions, with the help of that you will be able to recognize the sentences of past indefinite tense or simple past tense, right? So let's take some examples. I'm just going to speak out in Hindi, but that is only to make you understand, right? So if I say that मैंने कहा, मैंने कहा, मैंने कहा. So in kaha there is matra of a, you can see here. उसने पूछा, right? पूछा, right? So the sense of you can see here, right? If I say बच्चे स्कूल गए, गए means what? A. At the end of the sentence you can see what? A. वह बाजार गई, right? So if I say वह बाजार गई, so the sentence is ending with E, right? मैंने खाना खा लिया, yeah, you can see here, yeah, right? Like that. If I say, वह मुझसे बात नहीं करता था, he did not talk to me, करता था, वह मुझसे बात नहीं करता था. वह मेरी बात नहीं सुनती थी, she did not listen to me, right? So थी. So in case of these recognitions at the end of this sentence, you have to get that the sentence belongs to past indefinite tense or simple past tense, right? I hope you have got it. Now let's move to the second one, that is past continuous tense. The second one is past continuous tense, right? This is the second one. It is having the recognitions like raha tha, rahi thi, rahe the, continuity in the past tense, right? So it's affirmative and negative formula. I'm just going to write together. Subject plus was, were, plus under bracket not, plus v1 plus ing and plus object. Its interrogative and negative formula is, what you have to do, you have to put was verb first, was verb and then subject will take its place. So subject, and then from not everything will remain the same. So not under bracket plus v1 plus ing plus object, and at last you have to add what? Question mark, right? The third one is, that is WH family, and plus you have to apply the same interrogative form from the beginning to end. So WH family plus interrogative form, right? Now as note, you have to remember that, with subjects I, he, she, it, and singular noun, we use what? We use was. What we use? We use was. And rest with all the subjects like we, you, they, and plural noun, we use what? We use were. What we use? We use were, right? So you have got where to use was and where to use were, right? Now let's move to the third one, that is past perfect tense. So, let's learn its forms. The first one is affirmative and negative. Subject plus had plus under bracket not plus v3 plus object. The second one is, that is interrogative and negative, right? Put had at first, and then subject will take its place. Subject plus under bracket not plus v3 plus object plus question mark, right? And then the last one is, that is WH family plus interrogative form, right? The fourth one, past perfect continuous tense. In such sentences, there is also continuity with the actions, but that will be with the time denoting words. You will get some time denoting words in that, right? Let's do its formulas. So the first formula is affirmative and negative, that is subject plus had plus under bracket not plus been plus v1 plus ing plus object plus since by for plus time, right? Let's do its interrogative and negative. It's very easy. You have to put had at first, and then subject will take its place, and then from not to the end everything will remain the same, only you will have to add a question mark at the end of the formula, right? So let's do that. So had we have to write first, and then subject will take its place, and then from not everything will remain same. Been plus v1 plus ing plus object plus since for, and then plus what? Time, right? And then at last you have to add question mark as it is interrogative sentence, right? The third one is very easy, that is WH family, and then you have to apply the same interrogative formula. So WH family and interrogative form, right? And here, as I had taught you the use of since and for in the present tense, the present perfect continuous tense, in the very same way you have to apply, since and for as per the time denoting words. So I'm just going to repeat it once again. Let's understand it, how to use point of time and period of time, with perfect continuous tenses, right? So let's learn it. So I'm just going to tell you the use of for, period of time, right? So for using for period of time, what you have to do, students, I'm just going to tell you the very easy trick and easy way for using for. What you have to do, you have to touch the smallest unit of time, and then you have to move ahead in ascending order, right? So let's do that. So the smallest unit of time is what? That is second. And then after we have to go ahead with ascending order, right? So second plus second, it becomes what? Minutes. Minutes plus minutes, it becomes what? Hour, right? Hour plus hour, it becomes what? Days, right? Days plus days, it becomes what? It becomes week, right? Week plus week, it becomes what? That becomes months, right? And months plus months, it becomes what? It becomes year. So students, here I have done about 7 words. Let me count: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So students, these are the 7 words. You have to go with the what? Period of time for. What you have to use? For. Always remember. The very simple trick I told you, that is what? You just have to touch the smallest unit of time, then you have to move to the ascending order, and till the year you have to come, and if you get one of them in the sentence, you have to go with what? For. And rest with all the time denoting words, you have to get that since. What we have to use? Rest with all the time denoting words, we have to use since. But in case of one of them, you have to go with period of time, that is for. One more important thing here you have to remember, that is in case of days, 2 days, 5 days, 10 days, 15 days, you have to go with for. But in case of names of any day, like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday and any day, right, you have to go with since. Similarly, if there is months, 2 months, 1 month, 3 months, right, you have to go with for. But in case of names of months, from 12, January, February, March, April, anyone, right, what you have to use? And students, this is the easiest way. With the help of that, you will never ever make mistakes while using since and for in the perfect continuous tenses, right? I hope you have got. Now let's move to the next tense, that is future tense. Yes, so future tense. Right? Its definition. The future tense refers to something or the actions, you can say, that will take place, in the future time, right? Let's see its example. I will teach English. This is the example of future indefinite tense. If I write I will be teaching English, so here this one is the example of future continuous tense, right? I will have taught English. So this is the example of third one, future perfect tense. And will have been teaching English since morning. So the last example is the example of future perfect continuous tense, as the last example is having what? The last example is having time denoting word, right? So now let's learn all the four kinds of future tense, one by one. Yes, so the first one is future indefinite tense. In this tense, the sentences will end in the letter ga, ge and gi, right? Let's do its forms. Its first form, affirmative and negative, right? That is subject plus shall, will plus under bracket not, first form of the verb and object, right? The second one is, that is interrogative and negative, that is shall, will. What you have to do, you have to put shall, will first, and then subject will take its place. Subject plus rest will remain the same, not under bracket plus v1 plus object, and at last question mark, right? And then the third one will become what? WH family plus interrogative form, right? So this one was the first one of future tense, future indefinite tense or simple future tense. Now let's do the second one, that is future continuous tense. In this tense, the time will continue, there will be continuity of the actions in the future time, right? So let's do its forms. So its first formula, affirmative and negative, that is subject plus shall, will plus under bracket not plus be plus v1 plus ing plus object. In all the continuous tenses, whether it would be present, past and future, you have to go with v1 plus ing, right? The second one is what? That is interrogative and negative, right? So shall and will, you have to put first shall, will, and then subject will take its place, subject plus, then rest of the things will remain the same, not under bracket, plus b plus v1 plus ing plus object, and at last question mark, right? And then the third one is what? That is WH family, and then same interrogative formula you have to apply, right? So here you got first one future indefinite tense and the second one future continuous tense, right? Now let's move ahead for learning the third future perfect and the fourth future perfect continuous tense, right? So the third one is future perfect tense, right? In future perfect tense, the actions will have completed and finished in the future time, right? So let's do its forms. Its affirmative and negative formula is subject plus shall, will plus under bracket not plus have, third form of the verb plus object. In all the perfect tenses, you have to go with the third form of the verb, right? Whether it would be present perfect, past perfect and future perfect. with all the perfect tenses, third form of the verb. Remember. Now the second one is what? That is, interrogative and negative, right? So shall will you have to put first, shall and then will, and then subject will take its place, and then from not everything will remain the same, object, and at last question mark, right? I hope you have got it. Okay, now the third one is very simple, that is WH family, that is WH family plus interrogative form, right? Now let's do the fourth one, that is future perfect and continuous tense, right? So this tense too will have time denoting words, right? But here one thing you have to remember, at the place of since and for, right? The use of for will remain the same, but at the place of since you have to add from. Always remember. What you have to use? At the place of since you have to use from, as since is not used in the future tense, right? Forms. The first one is affirmative and negative, that is subject plus shall will plus under bracket not plus have plus been plus v1 plus ing plus object plus since and for. So for will remain the same. At the place of since, what we have to use? From. So I am writing here from slash for and then plus time, right? Now it's interrogative. So it's interrogative and negative formula, right? So if I write here shall will first, it will make the meaning of kya in interrogative sentence, then subject will take its place, and then from not everything will remain the same, right? So let's write not under bracket plus have plus been plus v1 plus ing plus object plus from for plus time, and at last question mark, as it is interrogative form. The third one is what? That is WH family plus same interrogative formula you have to add, right? I hope you have got it. Now here what you have to do, as you used to use for period of time earlier with present perfect continuous and past perfect continuous, similarly quite like that you have to use even here in this tense, but at the place of since, the uses will be same, but at the place of since you have to write what? From, in future perfect continuous tense only. But except this tense, present perfect continuous and past perfect continuous, with these two tenses you have to go with since and for, right? So I hope you have got the formulas of tenses well. Thanks everyone.